Welcome to Soccer Talk, a podcast about soccer in Iowa, presented by Kick It Forward.
Kick It Forward uses soccer to find innovative ways to eliminate barriers and create an equal, empowered, and engaged youth population.
We are positive disruptors that promote accessibility and diversity at a grassroots level.
You'll find us building mini pitches, organizing free soccer, predicting the weather, and covering local games.
I'm Ben Brackett.
And I'm Blake Siebers.
And today we're here to talk soccer.
That's right, Ben. All soccer, all the time.
Welcome to the show. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Iowa soccer supporters. I'm Ben Brackett, your Soccer Talk co-host, along with my good buddy Blake Siebers. Siebes, what's up?
It's been a while since we've been together for a podcast, so excited. Things have been rolling around, but it's Christmas time. It's end of the year, so good times.
Yeah, I love it. We're doing a little year in review is what we're here for today. Something that's new for us, I guess. But it's something we're always doing. We're reviewing ourselves, but never publicly, I guess, right?
Yeah, so this will be interesting here.
Yeah, maybe this will get the DMs flowing because people just they'll want to talk about all the things we're talking about. Also, just a quick plug for our YouTube channel. We're back in the layer today. We're trying to improve our sound quality. So today we've got a single mic that Blake and I are passing back and forth, which is quite romantic. So, enjoy that if you're on the YouTube. Otherwise, of course, check us out on all the other platforms, even Stitcher for Luke Freeberg. What do you think, Steve? What else we got?
No, I think it's kind of funny. I was going through some notes, and I think in December of 2020, one of the things we had on our list was to figure out our sound quality. So a year later, we're finally getting to it.
Round of applause, please. Thank you. Okay. So we just thought it'd be fun to kind of run through our year. It's funny when we look at all the, we actually write down some of the stuff we did this year. I feel like it was a pretty good year, right, Siebes?
Absolutely.
But yeah, I think sometimes you get caught up in things. And so it is good to do a little reflection. I think this is a good time of year for it, of course. So please enjoy this if you're listening. And what do we kick it off with, Siebes? So last year, 2021, we were talking about going to the convention. That's usually how the U.S. Soccer Coaches Convention is kind of how we reboot every year and fire things up for the coming year, right, Blake? Yeah, so he just nodded yes in case you're just listening. In the past, we've gone to Chicago, we've gone to Baltimore. Last year was supposed to be California, and lo and behold, we canceled it, of course, because of the COVID pandemic.
Yeah, we didn't cancel. It got canceled, but we still ended up in California later in the year, which is a little tease.
Yeah, that is a nice tease. But so we figured that we needed to continue the tradition and reboot anyway. So we went down to Florida, had our own little mini Kick It Forward convention on the Gulf Coast in the near north part of Florida, basically Alabama.
Yeah, the Panhandle up there, and it was in January, and unfortunately, it was not warm. I think we all brought like one pair of pants, and we ended up wearing that pants and the top basically every day.
Yes, it was a good reboot. I don't think it was probably as productive as many of our reboots have been in the past. But this year we're going to the convention here in Kansas City. Looking forward to that in 2022. That'll also come up later. So anyway, good little, it actually does come around because we enjoyed the company of some of our contemporaries, including your good buddy, Andrew Cooley, right?
Yeah. Yep. So he was down there. He kind of made a guest appearance. We had our friend Billy Scott made a guest appearance. Old reliable Southside schemer Joe Stonrath was around.
Indeed. Andrew Cooley is one of your college teammates and also part of the Colorado Rapids coaching organization out there. And we're always trying to figure out ways to do something with him. So anyway, it was a good chance to connect with him. And, we were kind of going through the podcast simultaneously as we were writing things down. And this was also at the time of the big CDL ISL conversation. We brought the guys on, we brought several different people, including Matt Carver from the Urbandale Soccer Club, or now Iowa United Soccer Club. We had chatted with Dan Cataldi and Craig Winger. Who else we talked to? Anybody? We talked to Kurt Lewis as well. And so interesting to hear all those different perspectives. I would recommend, if you're at all trying to figure out what's going on in that realm of the world, of the soccer world, it'd be a good place to start. So in February, we started planning for our big high school event. What, you want to take that one, Siebes?
Yeah, that was a pretty cool little futsal battle. So we kind of picked the weekend, which is a difficult weekend in the spring, right before the high school season starts. But we picked, because spring break is in there, we picked Birdland Mini Pitch, and we partnered with La Cubuena, the Spanish radio station. Our big buddy Darwin Salas over there. He brought the music. He brought the mic.
He's the father, right, Blake?
Yes. He so we did that. We had 22 teams, I believe. And we had, I'm going to leave out some, I'm sure, but we had guys from Newton, Bondurant, Roosevelt, Ankeny, Valley, a couple like free agent teams, East High School. It was a pretty cool event. What did we do? 40 some games in.
Like, you refereed 43 games in less than 2 days.
Yes, that's right. We had some Dowling guys in there. So yeah, it was a cool little event. And had the final under the lights. If you guys want to kind of see a little quick recap of that, go onto our YouTube's page, and we got the iPod out there and recorded the game. So it's pretty cool.
It was super cool, Blake. Don't sell yourself short. So that's one of those things where I go back and look at, and that was definitely a high point for us. I think, Blake mentioned 43 games. We also had over 150 kids out there. It was a little bit of a chilly weekend, but people were still out there enjoying it. So yeah, check it out on the YouTube channel. I thought that was, it gives a good picture of what was going on. Also right around then, that was kind of March time. We had the Rhode Island mini pitch, initiative was in full swing. And so we had some different professional players that were involved with that mini pitch on the pod. So we had Michael Parkhurst, Julian Gressel, Scotty Caldwell, and Jeff Lorenowitz, all good friends of the pod, come on and chat. And, I'm guessing those don't get as many listens as they should, because it's pretty cool to have an upfront conversation with some of these guys that are, really, truly like high-end professional players that were, somebody like Michael Parkhurst has played in World Cup and done some of that kind of fun stuff that, we just dream about. So anyway, that happened. We also had a big result over at Drake Relays, didn't we, Blake?
Yeah. So again, relays, we've done the Edathon with iCare and Jethro's and the relays all partnering together. This is, we had to come back to defend our crown. So our El Presidente, Matt Sahag, and Jake Oath, big time Kick It Forward supporter now. He has a scarf and a stocking hat, which we need to plug later, Ben. But they took the title home, I think 3 years ago now, with most number of wings eaten. And then
I think most number of wings that touch their mouths.
There you go. Yeah. But so then we raised, so then 2 years ago, we raised the most money and ate the most, right? No, we actually got second. That's right. There was some dodgy accounting ways that happened by another group, but we'll bypass that. So we were obviously steaming at the bit to get the title back, get the belt back. So it was a virtual event this year. We did it again at our old number one mini pitch at Birdland. And we all had mini Emeneckers this time, and we recorded it and weighed them all. And there was definitely some different, it was late in the day. There were quite a few beverages consumed. I think that filled up some people's bellies, but we didn't eat the most, but we raised the most money.
Just as far as the eating goes, well, we can definitely, the most important thing is the money raised, but as far as the eating goes, certain people's lack of eating is not as important as the heroic output from Darwin Salas, which found him to be the second best eater in the whole competition. And he's the only person that he ate the most without finishing it. And there was one guy that supposedly finished it, but when Darwin was done, he was basically ready for like another meal or dessert or something, right?
Yeah, we went on, sorry to interrupt you, but we went on the radio station and he ate it. So again, this is pretty funny. If you really want to laugh and make fun of us, trying to share one mic is not normal, I don't think.
It's not. Anyway, so big shout out to our boy Darwin Salas over at La Cubuena. And we brought in a massive donation, right, Blake, from Gatorade and Come and Go for $100,000 to bring our total to like maybe like 107,000, I think. But that just may have blown away the competition a little bit. So we were pretty excited about that. That money all went toward our Omaha mini pitch. You want to talk about that a little bit, Blake, because that one's pretty cool.
Yeah, so we've got a site what's going in here spring of 2022 with partners over at the Q's School, which is about a half mile from the Creighton Stadium, and they're a parochial school, but their kids are all I think it's 90+% are on free and reduced lunch, and they're doing some renovations to their playground. It's an old school that just needs some work. And the mini pitch there is going to have lights, kind of be a little community hub for the neighborhood that needs some safe places, and then also definitely revitalizing their old blacktop.
Yeah, we're excited about that. We'll definitely be circling back to keep people updated on that, and hopefully we will be able to build more mini pitches in Omaha with our friends over there. I think kind of like one of the big conversations in the early in the spring, or kind of as we were getting into summer, was the high school soccer was back. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, and this is kind of what started the podcast originally, right? The first podcast was Waukee against Johnston, was it maybe 3 years ago in the spring of, so maybe 3.5 years ago, something like that.
Sounds right. I'll buy that, Blake. But yeah, so the high school season is back. We were super excited to cover some games all year. There were, it was the weatherman would tell you it was a beautiful spring for soccer. We saw some great games. What would you say like the highlight game would have been, Blake? I'm trying to remember back to what game was the best. I mean, obviously the state tournament is tough to beat.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's always the best part is that day one, when you sit in the middle of those fields and all those games are going on at the same time, right? Like you got action going on, parents cheering, students cheering. And so, yeah, that to me, that first day is absolutely the best.
Yeah. I don't know that I feel like a lot of the games of the week we went to ended up like lopsided, didn't they? But we did have a pretty fun one out there out in Van Meter. We got to see our buddy Jonah Waldron. I thought that was probably one of my favorite games. Seeing Jonah and his father Pat just kind of rocking it on the sideline, and having this first year program do so well. So that was really funny, and just to kind of get that little small town feel is always kind of a neat little thing. So maybe just to kind of jump on the high school tournament thing, let's talk quickly and just give a shout out to all our boys state champions. The 1A saw Burlington come out on top against Notre Dame 4-1. That was a big game. I recall the 2A game when Xavier beat. Who did they beat, Blake? I can't recall. We don't know. Okay, well, Xavier was the 2A champ. And then the 3A is the one that I always pay the most attention to, which is because I'm biased due to the fact that was the division that I played in. And so I'm always trying to keep an eye on teams like Valley High School or, even some of these others that ended up getting to state this year. But it was pretty interesting. We had a major upset, didn't we, Blake, in the 3A? Pleasant Valley would have been the 8th ranked team coming into state and ended up knocking people off. Each game they won 1-0. Overall, it was a pretty impressive performance. It was a little bit of kind of get behind the ball, defend really hard, and they had a couple really special players that scored some big goals. Blake, you got anything for us on the girls' side, or are we going to just have to move on and come back to it?
What are you looking for, Ben? I'm assuming you're looking for the champions.
Yep, it, Steves.
So we had the 1A Davenport Assumption made it to the final against Des Moines Christian. Right, Des Moines Christian scored a lot of goals. Local program there, and then 2A was Waverly Shell Rock won it. Kenzie Rolling friend of the pod. We talked to her a little bit. She was obviously an absolute beast and scored a bunch of goals in state tournament, led them to the title. And then 3A, is big, a lot of Central Iowa heavy. And I think your alma mater, Ben, came away with the title there.
Let's go Tigers. That would be Coach Chapman, just like adding to his trophy case. So while that was all going on, we were also doing our Saturday morning free clinics. We did those out at Waterworks Park. Those were really fun this last year. We had a lot of good friends of the pod out there, a lot of folks our age with their kids out there running around, having a great time, enjoying the beautiful weather. Some other things we sort of did that, we started trying to host some games. So we hosted the Champions League final up at the Loft. That was, again, when we were getting back to like doing things in person, which was one of those very cathartic experiences throughout the year. Blake, you want to talk about the golf tournaments? What'd you think? I didn't play my best at the golf tournaments. I've seemed to save my best golf for the end of the year.
Yeah. So, we got to start with the first golf outing at TCI in June, which was supposedly by our guys that help the event. That was going to be a super dry part of the year. No problems with weather. And lo and behold, absolute monsoon at TCI. We're up in the clubhouse. Everybody gets in like 4 or 5 holes, maybe. And you look down and it rains and pours for about 45 minutes. The fairways are literally rivers. Our golf cart got stuck.
Glad you didn't skip over that, Blake.
No, we're a news source that is transparent. But that was a good event. We raised a lot of money. Thanks to our friends over at Tonic and TCI. That was a cool little event. And then we had our little one at Toad Valley in August. I may skip ahead here just briefly, but that was a good event. Our friends, we had a little taco bar that didn't really materialize. We ended up getting on the fly, getting some different food that worked out well though.
And so I actually didn't even get to go to that golf event because we were out in, I was out in Rhode Island with some other guys opening the Rhode Island mini pitch there at Ledge Street, which was a really cool event. And I got to spend some time with some of my teammates, my former Brown soccer teammates there. And to get to have them see some of the stuff we were doing was really cool. And then I think it was one of those things where they saw it and they were like, oh, we got to do this, ourselves somewhere else. So stay tuned for more, long time soccer connection mini pitches coming, because I think that's something we're going to keep doing, right, Blake? But so I missed that. And then I was out in Rhode Island, I hopped on a plane. I would say that this was sort of the highlight of our year so far, I guess, Blake. Would have to say was our trip to LA.
Yeah, so we went out
the City of Angels.
We for the All-Star game, which was definitely an interesting experience because we didn't really know what was going to happen. COVID, there were California has a little bit more strict policies than elsewhere. So, but no, you flew over there. We flew out of Des Moines. We met, went with our friends at Musco and the U.S. Soccer Foundation to the skill stuff. We participated in a mini pitch opening, which you want to talk about Hollywood. You had Nomar Garcia Parra there. You had Nick Raimondo and Eddie Pope. So obviously some big time U.S. soccer legends. That was a pretty cool weekend.
Yeah, I didn't get to partake in that, but I literally could see the mini pitch from the plane on the way into town. So what a cool deal. So that was in Compton. So you make the joke like it's not Hollywood. It certainly wasn't Hollywood. But we did get a little taste of Hollywood for the concert, didn't we, Siebes?
That's right. I forgot about that. Big boy. We finagled our way up to the red carpet as everybody kind of walks in. And sure enough, we got a selfie with Big Boy. He was all about it. His buddy, I don't even know who the other guy he performed with was, but Big Boy, like, no, let's give these boys a photo. So we got a picture with Big Boy.
Yeah. And if for some reason you're struggling to figure out who Big Boy is, we're talking Big Boy from Outkast. Cooler than a polar bear's toenails.
Him and Andre 3000 like shake it like a Polaroid picture. Bombs over Baghdad.
Yeah, this is clearly you're dealing with a couple of suburban boys from Central Iowa. Anyway, so that LA was awesome. Though we got to see, the game itself was super cool too. The stadium there. Bank of California Stadium, right? Just there next to the Coliseum. Sort of like the after party we got to see. I mean, we were rubbing shoulders with Alexi Lawless and Moa Dew. Blake got his picture taken by Rob Stone with Don Garber. You heard that right. Rob Stone took Blake's picture with Don Garber. We might have to go through some of our pictures, Blake, and just like throw them up on social media, right? He's writing that down in his notes right now. If you're watching on YouTube, you'd know that. Anyway, so what an awesome experience that was. We took with us, this is probably a great little transition. We went along with a kind of man of the moment for August, our pal, great friend of the pod, Charlie Bales, an Iowa soccer legend in his own right, interview forthcoming. But Charlie joined us. We had an absolute blast in LA, but he was sort of celebrating, wasn't he, Blake?
Yeah, he was him and Lyle, co-GMs of the Menace, and they won the USL 2 league title at Valley Stadium.
Blake says that was such a flat tonation because he's jealous. It's upstaging his win in 2005 because this year they did it in front of over 7,500 people here in Des Moines. It was flipping sweet.
It was absolutely unbelievable. The atmosphere, the entire side of the Valley bleachers were full. There were people and fans behind both goals.
Tailgate was strong.
It was. We got a little bit of a lecture as we were out at halftime, but that's what helped, I think, bring some noise to the stadium. That was awesome. And like I said, Charlie Bales, Lyle Hunt, those guys are great. Pretty cool that the two of them are doing that. And I think co-GMs of the year, I think, right, Ben?
Yeah, so we would have known that at the time. We certainly could have predicted it, but if you're listening to this, it's mid-December, late December, almost Christmas, and they were just recently named the co-executives of the year. So super exciting for the Des Moines Menace, super exciting for Charlie and all the guys involved over there. So shout out to them. I guess while we're talking about championships, I'll just give a shout out to Imperio because Charlie also plays for Imperio. 2 championships for the old boys this year. They continue to be everybody's daddy. I was not able to participate very well in the second part of the season, but the first part I did my bit. I know Sievers is rolling his eyes silently here.
Yeah, nobody really wants to hear or talk about Sunday League soccer, but
slightly more important than that, we should give a quick shout out to the bridge between Sunday League and the Des Moines Menace, part of our family.
Yeah, absolutely. Des Moines United. We covered
Des Moines United.
We speaking of kind of getting into college games of the week, but we went and saw Des Moines United play the Menace at Valley Stadium. Got in the locker room. Actually, Brandon Ermels, Darwin Salas let us in there, talked to those boys. That was a pretty cool event. And pretty cool for soccer in Des Moines to have two teams playing against each other. But then, like you said, Ben, we did, or I said, I guess, we went to started college games of the week. We went to Drake, Western Illinois men, which unfortunately there was not, I just specifically, no, Drake won. They did, but there was no people. That was like a Monday afternoon. And definitely a difficult game for everybody, but saw the Drake women play, UNI women. We got to see Grandview play. So we did that, and then that kind of rolled in through the fall and
toured to many pitches.
That's right. So we did we went to Birdland, EK Davis, Pleasant Hill, Cheatham, Clive, Linan Park. So had a bunch of our free clinics there as well.
That's true. This was kind of in celebration. The Tour de Mini Pitches is a celebration of our Pro Iowa Must Go Kick It Forward mini pitch initiative throughout the state of Iowa, where we did 10 mini pitches. And we have officially opened all of those, which is super exciting. I took a road trip to Sioux City with Eduardo. We went to Marion, Iowa. We went to the one at Perry was awesome. We went all around town here in Des Moines. We had some really, really great openings with the City of Des Moines Parks and Rec. Hoover High School as well. I was going to say my favorite one was this last one we had with the Oak Ridge neighborhood. That mini pitch is going to get absolutely beat to death in the absolute best intention of that, with the best intentions. What a great spot that is. God, how many have we done now, Blake?
So we've done 14 in the state of Iowa, 2 in Rhode Island, so we're up to 16, and we've got 3 on the books already confirmed 100% for late spring, early summer of 2022. I don't know if we can release locations yet, though. Can we, Ben?
Not yet, but there's lots of action there, and we've got lots of stuff in the works there. And let's see, what else? What do we want to do? We want to just sort of talk about it culminating?
Yeah, so it got cold, right? Soccer kind of ended, so we've obviously been off for a few weeks. There hasn't been a whole lot going on. One thing, so we'd had a little holiday party, tried to do it kind of early season, quote, early season. So
before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, so everybody else has their parties in December. We tried to hey, let's do it a little earlier so corporate parties, family parties don't conflict. So we had that, and then one thing we didn't really talk about yet, Ben, is the skywalk skywalk futsal.
Yeah.
So selfishly, so my kid played there. 7 years old. They played. He played with Joe Southside Schemer, Joe Stonerath's team, UFA team, full of 6-year-old. There was 7 7-year-olds and 2 8-year-olds, and ended up winning the thing in the 9/10 boys division, which cool event, cool atmosphere. The finals were buzzing. You were there. Just, I think those guys, it's Justin Forster's definitely ran a great event over there at Hy-Vee Hall.
Good shout there, Siebes. It was awesome. I always just love going downtown to begin with. So yeah, so with all that, I mean, I think we're just we're sitting here at the end of 2021. Despite all the weirdness that has come with just like day-to-day life of modern times, I think we're okay here. We're having fun. We are going to keep working really hard at the spreading the game to be more accessible. Some things we're looking forward to in 2022, Blake.
Yeah, so obviously you got the convention down in Kansas City here beginning of mid-January. We've got some more mini pitch openings scheduled, more mini pitch, a little bit more fundraising on a few pieces. And then we're working with some partners that are going to do some kind of cool marketing things. And again, being positive disruptors, trying to, like you said, but make soccer more accessible.
That's right. We're really excited to participate with some in those 2 events there in the spring. We'll probably talk about those later, but if you've got any questions, please slide into our DMs, shoot us an email. Make sure you follow us on social media. We're at KIF Soccer on Facebook and Instagram. We're at KIF_soccer on Twitter. YouTube, search for us at Kick It Forward. And podcast, you can find that on all the platforms, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, even Stitcher, if that's your thing. What else you got, Siebes? Oh, swag.
Yeah, I was just saying the supporters club. We added a new level this year. We've got the super supporters, which is the higher end, the quote best supporters. And then we've got the premier supporter. So super supporter, $100, $10 a month, either one. You get a new jersey, get a stocking cap, get a coffee mug.
Those jerseys are pretty sweet, designed by our friends over at Elite Visions. Those are going to be pretty sweet. And then you've what else? Oh, what's the lower level get?
So lower level gets both the coffee mug and the stocking cap, but just no jersey.
Yeah, and if you are a new member and you get on it, you might even get yourself a scarf, maybe a pint glass from years before. It just depends on if we like you, I guess.
There's not that many, actually. There's less than 10. So we did well with our first order of 3,000. So just a few scarves and pint glasses left.
Right on. Well, now's the time for us to sign off then. Thanks for all your support. I guess we should probably shout out to some of our main partners. You have to shout out Musco Lighting, Eduardo, Zemaripa, our mini pitch maestro, the one and only really mini pitch maestro. We should probably shout out El Presidente, the Titan tactician, Matt Sahag. Everybody, Matt's not listening. We know that, but hopefully if you see him, you can give him a little pound. Who? Oh, of course. We can't forget US Soccer Foundation. I was going to mention them as well. Our boy Alex Bard over there and his squad. We got Jen, Ginny, and the rest. We'll look forward to seeing them down in Kansas City. Who else? He was Pro Iowa. Yeah, of course. I mean, Charlie Bales at Kyle Davey at Pro Iowa, Emily Bonson, Charlie Bales with Des Moines Menace, Dan Cataldi over at Iowa Soccer. We appreciated his help this year. What else, Steves? Who else? I mean, gosh, Terry Caldwell at Oak Ridge. We could just keep going. Don't do this, right?
You should. You got it. No, you can't. So I'll take it and we'll end it here. Thanks 2021, 2022. We'll be back stronger and better than ever.